No.
It's starting now. Thanks for that again. Welcome, everyone, and good evening to episode 50, 50-something of Our
58?
Basement. What was it?
58.
Thank you. Wow, we're getting old. I can't believe already, oh my God, approaching 60. Anyway, yes, welcome to Our Parents' Basement, a podcast that always likes to dress to impress. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday evening. We took a small break from last week, and we are back with some new stuff to talk about. I am happy to be back, and thanks for joining us at a differently scheduled time. Let's get into it. I'm Philip, and I'll be hosting the evening, and with me I am joined by two fine fellows. The first is Charles. Charles, how's it going this evening?
Doing okay. How you been doing?
Not too bad. It was good seeing you over the weekend. We'll talk about that in a second. But
yes, it was.
Yes. Good to have you along. And we also got Jason, also known as Turf. And Turf, how are you tonight?
Man, I am feeling very much like the third wheel. You guys got to hang out, and I'm just going to sit here and hear about it, I guess. And pout.
Don't pout.
There'll be another time you could play with us kids.
Turn that front upside down. But as Turf kind of mentioned, and I kind of mentioned too, yes, I was able to hang out with Charles over the Memorial Day weekend. Myself and a few others were in the lovely city of Chicago, and it was a great time. I'm going to talk about that trip just for a minute. I have some stories to tell. I won't get into the whole nitty gritty, but I will say this. The last time I was in Chicago prior to this trip, I was 15. So being in Chicago as an adult is so much more fun. Got to, check out some local scenery. I got to be a tourist for a second. And most importantly, though, I got to see Charles and Jenny, and I got to meet Charles's folks and see where Charles grew up, things like that. It was a fun weekend, but there's some highlights.
You got to meet the most vicious dog ever.
Yeah, got to meet. Yes, I also got to meet Charles's puppy, who's not really a puppy anymore, but sure as hell acts like one. How is Doc doing, by the way, this evening?
Sleeping on the couch.
He's sleeping on the couch. Oh, good. Well, we won't wake him up. So we got there Friday afternoon or early. Actually, no, Friday mid-morning, and Charles and I and Jenny and my guy Russell and our two friends Bob and Daryl all met up at one of Chicago's most important and most prominent pizza joints. Am I correct in saying this, Charles?
Papa John's.
Yes, it's Papa John. No,
Papa.
It's one of the famous ones, one of the more well-known ones.
All right. Let's see if I can pronounce it right this time. Luminati's Pizza. Is that right?
Luminati's.
Yeah.
Like Illuminati.
Luminati's. But to say it the Chicago way, it's one word. Luminati's.
Luminati's. Yeah. All right. So, we went to Luminati's for some good old-fashioned style Chicago true deep dish pizza. And oh my God. Turf, if there was a way to send you food through the internet, I would have done so, because this pizza, oh my God, so good. I know you're trying to diet right now, but it would be your cheat day. You get what I'm saying?
There are no cheat days, sir. It's just a change of life. I accept UPS pizza.
They do ship.
Well, see, there you go.
They ship for real?
They par bake it, and they could pack it in dry ice and ship it to anywhere in the country.
Well, I know what someone's getting for Christmas. Awesome. Turf, that was good. Next time, we plan on going. We definitely got to check out that place again. Or we can check out the other important one. What was it? Giordano's?
Giordano's is good. Yeah, they're another one of the local chains.
Yeah.
Like Luminati's, Giordano's, Pizzeria Uno, Connie's. Those are like all the big, chainy local chains where take the out of town folks too. Yeah,
that was. I mean, it was a fun place overall. The service was great. I mean, everyone was so friendly and so happy to have customers. I really liked that about that place. So that was good. The food was good. Company was obviously good. It was a good day. But the most important day was, to me, Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
What?
2 pizzas is $62
To ship?
to ship.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
$61.99 for a 2-pack of the 9-inch pizzas. That includes shipping. You can get the 6-pack for $109.99. It's the best deal. It says with an exclamation mark. 2 exclamation marks like Punch Out.
Well, I mean, it's good, but it's not that good. I mean, sorry, guys.
Dry ice shipping is hazmat shipping.
Hazmat shipping. Yeah, it actually is hazmat shipping when you think about it. Wow. All right, sorry, Turf. I'm not getting you that for Christmas.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So,
just give me a DiGiorno and we'll call it good.
God.
You can send me a coupon for some DiGiorno.
Jenny's got some she could send you.
I mean, of course she does. I mean, I saw where you kept your coupons. That wasn't sexual at all. Anyways, where was I going? Oh yeah, so Saturday. That was, to me, my favorite day of my little Chicago journey. So in the morning we did a touristy thing without Charles, and he had stuff to do. He had to prepare for the following day's cookout. So eventually, Charles and I planned to meet up not around Boys Town, but what part of the city?
Wrigleyville-ish.
Wrigley Village. Okay, so we plan to meet around Wrigley Village, and
Wrigleyville-ish. It's not.
I'm sorry, Wrigleyville-ish, by the baseball stadium. So I got there about maybe a half hour early before he did. So I'm just putzing around, and I see a non-chain, Chicago-only clothing store, I believe called West 28th or W28th or something like that. Yeah, so I go in. I'm looking at the stuff. They have some really fun duds. I find some shoes. I find a cool pair of shorts. I'm like, you know what? I'll do some souvenir shopping while I'm here. So I, get to the checkout line, get some stuff, and call it Charles left, and call it a day. So I'm done with that, and I just walk around some more, walk around, and eventually I meet Charles at our meeting spot. People Play Games, is that it?
Yes, People Play
Games. A used video game store. Turf, I gotta tell you, this is one of the coolest video game stores I've ever seen. Prices not too bad, you know how the market is now with collecting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Crazy amount of stuff, like tons of selection. So Charles and I, we're walking around, and I see a game that I've been wanting for quite some time there. And I'm like, oh crap, I really want this game, but I've already spent a lot of money. Shit. So we walk around, we do like a lap around the store. Charles finds some stuff, and I find a loose instruction manual that I've been looking for. And as we're getting ready to check out, I'm thinking, you know what? I could just return these clothes I bought 10 minutes ago, so I can buy that game after all. But we take a little walk around the block. He shows me some cool stuff. I said, Charles, stop. We gotta go to this clothing store. I gotta make a return. So we go back to the clothing store. The same lady who checked me out, says, hey, you're back. I said, yeah, I gotta make a return. She said, okay, what do you want to return? I said, everything. And she said, why? I said, well, I saw a video game I really wanted, and I'm trying not to break the budget, and then, priorities. So she said, okay.
I understand.
You didn't just say like buyer's remorse or anything like that?
No, I told her the truth. Boy Scouts, all that good stuff. I was never a Boy Scout. But as a compensation, for her and for the store, I bought a $3 chapstick and gave it to Russell. So then I'm thinking to myself, okay, do I really want to buy this game? Do I really want to? So we're walking around some more, and we are about to go one direction. I'm like, Charles, stop. Let's go back to the store. I'm buying this game. So we go back to the store. I say, I want to buy this.
A block away from the store.
Yeah, it was. We barely made like 2 steps. So we're back at the store. I said, yeah, I'm going to buy that game after all. And he says, okay. And I hand my card off, and my card has declined.
Oh, no.
Like, God damn it. Is this a sign? Is this a sign from some higher power saying, no,
you forgot to tell them that you forgot to tell the bank that you were going out of town.
So I'm like, all right, Charles, let's go for a walk again. So go for a walk. No more than like 2 minutes later, my bank calls me and says, hello, you was a charge for blah, blah, blah. Approved by you? If yes, press 1. I press 1. We go back to the store for a third time. And I finally buy the game. And Turf, I've been waiting to tell you this for a long time. I finally walked away with a copy of Burning Rangers for the Sega Saturn.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Man, you did break the bank, didn't you?
not as bad as you would think. It's in great condition. It's complete. It's mine now. It works. I tested it as soon as I got home.
Excellent, man. Congratulations.
I am so thrilled. It's like one of those hurdles I was worried about with this. And, I thought to myself, okay, Chicago souvenir, what better way to get one than a game I'll enjoy?
Right. You'll have that, and you'll remember where you got it and the story to go along with it. Nice. Well
story
done.
Story to go along with it. The story that behind it, the cool pair of clothes, a bit of clothes I returned to get it. And, great store, great employees. Obviously, I'm very pleased with my purchase, and I'm so happy about it. And Charles, you walked away with some stuff too. Is that what you went to grab?
Yes, I grabbed the wrong game originally.
That's okay.
But I got Rugby World Cup '95 for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I don't hate that. That's is it built on the Madden engine?
I think
it seemed like it had to be like that or Mutant League Football. It'd have to look really similar to those.
There's a lot more going on. There's so much going on when you're playing this on the screen. There's so much moving, so much passing, so much. It's not just selective play. You're moving. You got to pass the ball. You got
I understand.
Got some Dreamcast games for my Sega Dreamcast. I got King of Fighters 2001.
Oh, nice.
Love it.
And Cash.
Those are Japanese games too. Those aren't.
And Cash did hook me up with Sakura Wars.
Oh yeah, I bought Charles a gift for showing me around and for hosting us the following day. It's the least I can do.
And this will help me when I go for my Japanese classes.
It actually might. That's a great way. People may disagree. I think that's a great way to work on your listening.
Yeah.
Playing games with reading, you got to start from scratch. But with listening, you'll just pick up sayings and phrases that will really help you. So
there's lots of reading in this game. It's got all the the text in there that I gotta read.
All right, man. That'll be that's cool.
Yeah, so that was a Saturday. So after that, we walked around a bit more. We went to a smoke shop. Charles bought some cigars, and I felt very debonair in there. Then we went to the stadium, checked that out, and then I stepped out of my comfort zone and rode public transportation, not the
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He rode the Addison Street bus, the 152.
I
caught it in front of Wrigley Field.
That's the one. That's when I rode all the way to Charles's house. Then, I got a lift back to our buddy's place, and that was Saturday. That was a great day. And then Sunday, as I'm sure Turf, that was when when Charles had a fantastic cookout for Memorial Day. It was so fun. Jenny and Charles were working hard in the kitchen. There were pierogies and lots of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so good.
Potato and bacon pierogies.
Yeah, they were quite good. There was pulled pork, tons of ribs, tons of sides. There was food everywhere. Those Chicagoans, they know how to eat and eat well.
I just had enough food. I didn't have to break out the hot dogs and the hamburgers.
And
they were on standby.
Yeah, that I forgot you had other stuff you had corn that was on the grill. You had I'm not sure how many people brought potato salad, but they did. There were what's that? Jewel Osco? Is that the place?
Jewel Osco, yeah, Jewel.
Yeah, there were some cookies from the Jewel Osco.
And those cookies are good.
Fantastic. Met some of Charles' friends. Saw Jenny again. That was great. What else? Got some more subscribers to our little podcast, which is always a good thing. And highlight of the evening, I tried for the first time and last time, mind you, Malort malt liquor. Good.
Oh, nice.
It's not malt liquor. It's a liqueur.
It's shit, is what it really is. It was so bad.
What is it? Is it like, isn't it like a grapefruit liqueur or something?
It's a grapefruit liqueur with other aromatics that is filtered through wormwood.
Oh, nice. That's okay. It's interesting.
It tastes like sadness.
Tastes like hipster sweat.
Wasn't there like a contest, like find the best Malort slogan or something?
Yeah, there's these memes of like Malort memes, you know.
Like Malort tastes like the day Daddy left, or something like.
What do you want to unfriend people in person?
Just drink Malort. I made one up. Malort for turning friends into enemies and enemies into America's Most Wanted.
Nice.
It's like he took a shot, and he's like shaking his hands like this.
I was flailing like a little bitch. It was so bad. It was like I had to like eat a cookie from the Jewel Osco just to get rid of the taste. It was, oh my goodness.
And you know, my buddy Craig and I, we just figured out, like, yeah.
Yeah, you like a champ.
Whew.
Yeah. So turf, I do not recommend it unless you're morbidly curious. So
I mean, if it was there, I would have. I would have been like, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
That was about. That would have been about the end of it. I'm not going to seek it out. Like I know you were very curious. You had.
I was after
the Chicago experience for you.
Yeah.
I wish I got
a
picture of you drinking it.
You did get a picture of me, or you did not?
I did not.
You did not.
That's what you got Snapchat for, dude.
I was too busy laughing.
Yeah, I was flailing about like a fish out of water. It was not cute. So, but I'm glad I tried it. So then, hung out a little bit more, and it was time to head for the hills, back to the suburbs, and gave Jenny a hug, gave Charles a bro hug, and that was it. So Charles, thanks again for hosting us.
You're welcome.
It was a great time, and Turf, definitely, next time, let's try to make it happen, all of us.
I'd love to. Yeah. It was I hate that I missed. I really do. That would have been a good time. I do want to see Chicago, and I'd like to see it the Chicago way. But yeah, we'll have to do that one day.
Yeah.
Couldn't this weekend.
That's fine. No, you got responsibilities. You got adult stuff to worry about, so it's all good.
And that time, the two of you can experience the ghost together.
Yeah, I did not go the ghost.
That's good. That's that's not good. I think you should have. You should have gone.
I would have, but the one day we were gonna, it was actually sunny outside, and in Chicago, weather changes like crazy. So you're like, let's enjoy this day. It's not gonna be sunny forever. So
we had that quick storm during the Sunday before the whole thing started.
There was a storm Friday night, and then there was a storm on Sunday. Then it cleared up. I was like, okay, that's fine. So, and then Monday headed back to Tennessee. It was a great trip.
You guys got home quick.
Yeah, we did. We made, let me think here, one stop. Yeah, just a couple one stop just to refuel and head on back. It wasn't a bad drive. The drive there was bad. Russell got pulled over, got a speeding ticket on the south side of Chicago.
That's an award. It's just they're telling you how good you're doing.
I'm gonna tell him you said that. I think he'll appreciate the sentiment.
Get a driving award.
Yeah, and that was about it. Charles, anything I missed from it, or?
It's funny, like all of us were all hanging out at the barbecue, but I look over, it's like my parents, Russell, and like his two friends. They're all hanging out with my parents. the five of them are just all chatting up.
Oh, your parents are wonderful people, I must say.
And they're shorter than I am.
They are, yeah. Turf, can you imagine that? Well,
no.
Is your mom shorter than you? Yes. I don't think your mom is.
Yes.
She is. Okay, well, your mom's shorter than you, and your dad is way shorter than you. He is like beyond pocket sized.
He's a tiny Japanese man. Come on.
He sure is. He and they were great, very hospitable. They kept on going in the house, bringing stuff out. I'm like, no, you guys just sit down and enjoy. They said no. And then at one point, your mom comes out with a glass of ice water, and she says, "Does anyone want this ice water?" And it's like the most random thing. It was adorable. So yeah, tell them hello for me again, and
I will.
You have a lovely home and all that whole thing. They enjoy talking with your folks. They learned a lot about, some camping trip. I forget what that was about. Something about, I think your mom had a strip down or something. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh wow, this is a story.
Indeed. I guess you guys have a piano in your house, something like that.
Yes.
Yep. So,
little teeny tiny upright.
Russell was saying if it was possible, he would give you all lessons, but not at the moment. It's not quite possible. However, there is a house right by yours that is for sale. So
$289.9.
Which
you could be a Chicagoan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a block and a half away from me. So.
Anyways, yeah. So I think I covered everything. Charles, is there anything else about the trip?
Pulled pork. Pulled pork was good.
Pulled pork was the food was great.
Ribs got a little more dried out than I wanted.
That's the guy that cooks. Every time I cook, I'm like, I find something to critique. I'm like, I wish it hadn't been so dry. The chicken was a little dry.
They still tasted okay, but they were drier than I wanted them to be.
That's all right. Everything else was fine.
The pulled pork was perfect.
Nice.
It was good. Everything was good to me. So
it didn't need barbecue sauce.
That's something.
Okay. Well, everyone seemed to enjoy it. So
lots of beer was drunken.
Yeah, thanks for that. That was good. Thanks for the fascist pig beer.
Fascist pig.
Yeah, that was good. I wish I took some home with me.
And it's just brewed like 4 blocks away from where I live. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like seeing downtown and just seeing like the stuff by Wrigley, it's such a cool city, and I never seen so much love for someone's hometown until you walk around Chicago streets, like Cubs hats, Cubs jerseys, Cubs shoes, Cubs sweaters, Cubs pants, Cubs vests, Cubs jackets. Like everyone loves their Chicago Cubs there. I did not see one White Sox person.
Yeah,
I didn't see any White Sox people like at all. And there were a lot of people down there. So yeah, great time. I had a great time.
And also it was the other big event in the city too, was IML.
Oh Lord.
Which is International Man of Leather.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Russell wanted to go. I was like, you can go if you want to. I'm not gonna go. But he didn't go. No, he didn't buy a new harness.
And that's when things got weird.
It'd be weird if he bought one. Well, bought another one, but that's another story.
Hey.
So
saw the leather guys walk around with the smoke shop, the tobacco shop.
I missed that. Yeah.
You missed that?
Yeah, I didn't see it. So, but
yeah,
it was a great time. Great time. Definitely looking forward to doing it again. Charles, if you're hosting next Memorial Day, chances are I will be there.
I'll do it.
Right on, brother.
You should come up, Turf.
Man, we'll see what next year brings.
Yes, exactly.
If you need to, I could set up a tent in the backyard. I won't even charge you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the campsite. Can I use your shower, or do I have to?
Yeah, you can use the shower.
Oh, okay, that's good.
We've got a hose in the yard. We could set it up for you.
I appreciate that. Look at you go, man.
Fancy. All right. Well, I think it's time to move on to our next topic for the evening. We're going to bring it back to, our parents' basement's roots and go to the video game route. And this is an idea I believe came from you, Charles. You want to give a little bit of an introduction for it?
I want to go there's lots of systems out there that were, either not marketed right or, for some reason they didn't catch on. So we talk about some of these underrated systems out there. And there's, quite a few of them. They're
definitely
they either got sucked up in, into some other systems, big, they're on a rise, and people think, oh, why do I want that? This is a cool system to have, man. I want the Nintendo. I don't want, this Atari 7800.
Well, I think it's a great topic because there's a lot of consoles, game stations, if you're nasty, out there that kind of got swept under the rug or didn't get marketed right or didn't get the chance to shine like they could have. So we're gonna just discuss some of them. So I know you guys have a bunch, and Turf, we haven't heard much from you tonight, which is a first. I love you. So do you want to lead us off with this?
Well, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of underrated systems, underappreciated systems that and I'm speaking mostly for North America, because other parts of the world things were different, and that kind of leads me off into the first one that I want to talk about. It was the Sega Master System. Here, everybody was Nintendo. They were NES. I was NES. I had a buddy that lived 2 doors down that had a Master System, and so I thought they were way more popular than what they were, because like the kid I played with all the time had one, and I had the NES, and I knew some other guys that had Nintendo, but he was the only guy I knew that had a Master System. But they must have been out there, because he had one. So Eric, if you hear this, man, you exposed me to the Sega Master System first. Anyways, man, it had so many like really good games on it. One of my favorites that I distinctly remember playing in the late 80s was Rampage.
Oh.
The NES version of Rampage is complete ass. It's not good. But the Master System version, because if you don't know, Rampage is a 3-player arcade game where you go around destroying Chicago suburbs.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you get to destroy Joliet. So, anyways, we played Rampage a lot, and that was one of the games when I first got my Master System that I had to find. Was Rampage, and it's still a lot of fun. Me and my son play it quite a bit. It has 2-player co-op for the Master System. Obviously, you can't play 3, but it's a really fun game. I mean, it's very arcadey, very repetitive, but when you're playing with the 8-year-old, it's okay. So it's fun. And they had games like Fantasy Zone, that is a weird you're a little ship with legs or with wings, and if you get too close to the ground, you get legs, but you're still a spaceship named Oompa Oompa. And it's a weird little side-scrolling shooter, but it's fun. It's definitely quirky. Penguin Land, if you've ever played, is it Pingo? Is that the arcade version of it?
Pengo, yeah.
Pengo, where you're a penguin trying to protect an egg, and you have to push it down a series of like steps and to get to the bottom so your egg can be safe. It's fantastic. Now, and the reason I said that like worldwide, the Master System was huge everywhere else except for the United States, or North America, I should say. They made games for it in Brazil, I think, until like 1998, 97.
Really?
Like it was the late 90s. So,
wow.
I mean, so there's a ton of games that came out on the even the Genesis that have been ported to the Master System, if you can find them. So it's a really cool system. It's once you get into like some of the PAL releases and things like that, there's some really cool stuff out there. One of my favorite games on the system is actually a PAL release, is Ninja Gaiden. The Ninja Gaiden on the Master System is actually after Ninja Gaiden 3 on the NES. So, and it's better in about every way. It's still hard. It's still a tough game, but the controls are way tighter. The knockback is not as bad, and it's a very, very, very fun game. So if you ever get a chance to emulate a Master System game, check out Ninja Gaiden.
So what do you think caused the Sega Master System to kind of fall under our radar?
Mario.
Mario. Okay, I can see
Mario
that.
is huge here. Alex Kidd sucks. That's what they hung their hat on first. Alex Kidd is not. A lot of people like it. There's several Alex Kidd games for the Master System.
They are fucking weird.
Yeah, they're not fun. You're a kid with a giant head, and you try to punch stuff, and it doesn't. To me, to Jason, to this guy, to your old buddy Turf, just old Papa Turf says, it's not. Alex Kidd's dumb. Just skip it. But there is one real oddity in there that I really like, and I didn't realize it until I got my Master System when I was grown. I grew up playing Adventure Island on the NES. I had it when I was a kid, got it when it was new for Christmas one year. Adventure Island is fun. I like it. But then I played Wonder Boy. I was like, hey, Wonder Boy, we'll try that. Wonder Boy is Adventure Island. They're the same game. And I didn't realize that till within the last decade. So, imagine, you hear, that's kind of common knowledge now. But I didn't know it So, pow! It was.
Honestly, I didn't really know much about the Sega Master System like at all. Like I hear about it here or there. So this is extremely informative to me. So what you just said, that's new to me, honestly.
I've got I'd say about 50 games for it, and there are several very, very good games for the Master System. So, and that's just a few that I've said: Shinobi, R-Type, Wonder Boy, Ninja Gaiden, Fantasy Zone. Those are all really good games, and there's plenty more in the library if you just want to check it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, damn, you really got me interested in this system now, Turf.
It's something it's fun to collect for because it's not super expensive. Golden Axe Warrior is the only one that I know that's over $100, unless. And hold on, let's back up. Unless you try to get the U.S. The North America release of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's $1 bajillion. I think was the last count.
Ah, okay.
But it's the exact same game as and I'm not talking about different label, different. It is the exact same. Came out of the same plant, everything, as the PAL release, except for there is a sticker on the outside, not printed on the label, a sticker for a US barcode. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Huh.
And that makes it worth about a quadrillion times more.
That's like stadium events for the Sega Master System, it sounds like.
Right. That would be a pretty good comparison.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know the Sega Master System had a stadium events equivalent.
I don't know if it's that much. I want to say it's still under $1,000, but it's not cheap. Let's see, Sonic. I'm looking real quick.
That's fine. No, this is information.
Let's see. Sort by price high and low. Sonic the Hedgehog, the US version, is $981.33 loose.
Damn.
I
feel so bad about Burning Rangers right now.
Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog PAL game, I want to say, is like $20. And the literal only difference is a sticker.
That's so crazy how that works. Man, this industry.
Well, okay, I'll back up. Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing it's $385 complete. Golden Axe Warrior is $222 complete. But then after that, it's a sharp drop off, and they're all even complete or under $100.
All right, man. We say like back in the day, if we were to say something is it's under $100, people are like, oh, that's too expensive. Now, under $100, that's not too bad.
Well, I mean, I want to say you can do a complete set pretty reasonable. Good grief! I bought King's Quest this past Retropalooza, and it was not $100. I bought it. I think I paid like $50 for it, and now the complete price is $97. That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy how they skyrocket so quickly.
People get on a tip, and then it jumps up. So
sure.
But I mean, just there you go. It's still not an expensive system to collect for. You're going to look at a lot of the games. Complete are going to be about $30, so it's not super cheap either. But one thing about the Master System and that it makes me want to collect them complete is they have those cool Sega plastic cases. It's not like NES boxes. Like NES boxes like that, it's cool to have, but get the whole you don't worry about getting them too bad. But if Master System games or disc-based games, I try to get them complete because they've got those cool plastic cases.
Like those ones with the blue grid lines. Okay,
I love it. They're white with the blue grid lines. People say it's the worst ever, but I love it.
I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool seeing a bunch of them like lined up, like a big old long piece of graph paper.
That'll be murder on you guys.
This is the Mather to me talking.
See if we can get a picture of it. Our buddy Soera from VGCollect.com, which is a wonderful place to catalog all your video game collection. He's got a complete US set. It's a pretty impressive wall to look at.
Sure. I'll bet.
There's not I want to say like 180 games. May not even be that many because there just wasn't a huge. But he's got the full set and it looks cool up there on the wall.
Awesome. All right. Very cool choice, Turf. That was to me that was really informative. So I like this. Let's keep this momentum going. Charles, what about you? Do you have a console that you think is kind of underrated and needed more coverage?
I would say it would be the Dreamcast.
Oh, another Sega console. All right.
Yeah. It was, it had a lot of capability of what it could do. I guess it just lacked third-party support, which why kind of died off real quickly. It's a robust system.
It died off really quickly, didn't it?
It only lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
From 1999 to 2001. I mean, it's
so many good games on there. Even though I think it fared a bit better in Japan. I think.
But it had to. It couldn't have done any worse.
Yeah. It's competition of what? PS2, which.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of those. Who's it competing against?
Well, and that's exactly the Dreamcast was way ahead of its time. It came out with an internet connection or a modem, so you could actually play games online, which was in 1999, which was way ahead of its time. It was CD based. It wasn't. They didn't make it DVD based, which I think might have been the reason that it got destroyed by the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 came out like, hey, I can get a DVD player and a video game console. So let's get that one instead of this Dreamcast over here. So
yeah, it's weird. They had their own special disc, which is like a GD ROM or something like that, which is a 1 gig disc.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think it got kind of the same question I have for Turf. What do you think caused it just to kind of fade away into obscurity?
I think not a lot of third-party support, kind of stuff that hurt, the Wii U a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just the mega powerhouse that Sony is with their marketing.
Okay.
They had better marketing, I guess, Sega did for the Dreamcast. The graphics that I've seen what the Dreamcast could do compared to, some stuff I've seen on the PS2. I think, Dreamcast can do better graphics and all that.
Yeah, I think the Dreamcast is a better system. It had better first party support than and now you got to remember, I don't like the PS2 at all. So, anyways, I think the DVD drive, obviously, that's a big one, and they didn't have Madden. And that sounds silly to most of us because Madden's not that big a deal, but look how many copies it sells every year. Sega had the 2K games they came out with. They had 2K basketball, 2K football, 2K baseball. And instead of and they had the Major League license or the NFL license, the Major League Baseball and NBA licenses. But it wasn't Madden, and Madden was big.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I never knew that. I didn't know that Madden wasn't on the Dreamcast. I thought Madden was kind of everywhere, like you can't escape it, type of thing.
I want to say that Sega said, "No, we don't need you. We got our own," type of deal. And I don't. That's purely speculative. I don't have any basis on that at all. But I can see that happening. Like, no, we got our own sports games. We don't need EA. So there's not not those EA sports games on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Nothing about what I see that Sega for the Dreamcast could do. It could do this full motion video pretty damn perfectly, which I don't remember. I'm not too deep into the PS2. I don't know how many PS2 games actually had full motion video and all that.
I'm not sure. Like, you mean a movie in the game will slow down? Like, what do you mean?
Like, actually, I could be able to produce, full motion video in the game.
Yeah, I don't know about the PS2 having that. Like, I don't know much about like the technology behind the console. I just looked at the games with the Dreamcast, and other than a couple of RPGs, I had like zero interest in it. Now that I'm older, I appreciate it more. I think it's a great console.
I think the reason it appeals to me, I really like the Dreamcast because there's so many of those arcade ports, and I have an arcade attention span, so I can sit down and play Soul Calibur for 30 minutes, and I'm good. Yeah. I've run through the whole game. I've got that. I can play Hydro Thunder for a little while.
Yeah.
Just all these arcade ports. Silent Scope was on there. Sega Bass Fishing, which is underrated. That's a good time. Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi's on there. You can make some crazy money.
Love it.
I can't mention Crazy Taxi without doing that. So
yeah. There's Power Stone 2, quick fight, fun pick 'em up fighting games are great. 3D arena fighters, those are fun. I'm sure there's what else? There's Guilty Gear X for it. That only came out in Japan, but it's a fighting game. You don't need to know Japanese to enjoy it. What's the other some other fighting stuff on there? Like,
I don't know, but I still want
Fighter series.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of it that way. That's a good point, Turf. It's full of like arcade-minded games. That's
Sega was still hitting it out of the park with they had that Naomi hardware for arcades, and they were still knocking it out of the park in the arcades in the late 90s. They were one of the last ones to still be holding on and still be making money. So like, hey, we've got this Dreamcast, we've got this system that actually is the arcade hardware you can bring home. And they had these games that were arcade perfect ports. Hydro Thunder is Hydro Thunder. Soul Calibur is Soul Calibur. It's not a console version of it. It's the game.
Sure.
So that's I think a big plus to it. And one of the reasons that I really like it is because of that, because of those super fun arcade games that you got to actually bring home and play for. That was, and this is just me thinking, just your old buddy Turf talking again. It was the mark of when consoles started to pass what arcades were capable of.
Yeah.
After the Dreamcast, or at the Dreamcast, kind of that point, PS2 and all that surpassed what you could do in an arcade. The arcade cabinets were too expensive to try to keep technology above how fast the Xbox was moving, how fast, and then especially you get into like Xbox 360 and PS3. There's nothing going to keep up with that. Technology was moving too fast. So I think that was the point. We'd been the whole time since the 70s, we'd been trying to get the arcade at home. We wanted that arcade experience at home. That's what had been going on since the Atari.
Yeah.
We can play Pac-Man at home, but it looks like ass, but it's and we can do it. But then we found it wasn't even that. It was like bump, bump, bump for Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Sorry about the video people. That was an audio treat. But this was finally the point where it finally happened. Neo Geo did it. That you had the AES.
I forgot about Neo Geo doing
it was
something.
Price prohibitive, so nobody was going to buy that.
It still is.
Yeah, it still is. But I mean, even at the time, it was ridiculous. So, but this was the point that we'd been trying to reach. We had been trying to reach where we could get arcade at home, and then that killed the arcade too. But that's a whole nother conversation. So
killed the arcade and kind of killed Sega as a console developer.
Absolutely.
And I think it's when they kind of wanted to start when the Dreamcast was coming out. They kind of wanted to get out of the console market a little. So,
I mean, it was a heck of a swan song. I mean, if you're going to go out, man, go out with a bang, and they did it. The Dreamcast is a phenomenal system.
Yeah,
I think if anyone wants to collect video games, definitely looking to get into Dreamcast. I mean, last time I checked, the console itself is like ridiculously cheap.
Yeah, $30.
Oh, see, I paid $13 for mine. That was maybe a year ago. So
I mean, that's not unreasonable. I'm just saying, if you wanted to go buy one in a store, you could buy one for $30.
Yeah. See, now some of the games are pricey, but I mean, I think every console has that. But some of the ones that aren't are really fun.
Well, those arcade games that I've been talking about they're cheap. Like Soul Calibur might be like $15. I mean, it's all of these games that are going to be Hydro Thunder. I keep saying that because that's one of my favorites. Power
Stone. Last I checked, $15-$20.
Was Power Stone that cheap?
Yeah, Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2. That's a different story.
It's only like 60 or 70 though, isn't it?
Power Stone 2?
Yeah.
I guess it depends where you look, but I mean, the value of $1 is different for everyone. So, what else? Jet Set Radio. I don't think that's an arcade game, but still a fun game. So there's that. Easy for quick play sessions. You mentioned Soul Calibur. Sword of the Berserk arcade like hack and slash.
Sword of the Berserk. I got to write that one. I got to get that one.
Yeah.
I have it. Versus Capcom.
You want my copy? I'll give it to you. So, trying to think. Yeah. So the Dreamcast just man, that's a good way to say, good way to phrase it. If you're gonna go out with a bang.
Yeah.
So.
Power Stone 2. And this is all just ballpark stuff. It's for on price charting, so you can take it for what it's worth. But they've got it listed for complete for $75.
Which is kind of the cost for a new game. If you're
that's not ridiculous. I mean, it's and when you're looking at higher end collective stuff. Now, I've been trying to hunt down a copy of Cannon Spike. I don't know why, but I got it in my head that I want it. It's about $150, I think.
You want it.
I do want it.
You still want it, yeah. And there's like Fighting Force and like Rival Schools. Those fighting games, those are expensive. Making you sweat thinking about it.
Yeah.
Charles, what else? Do you have any games that you also want to recommend for the Dreamcast?
Like fighting games, King of Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun series. But those are a Japanese only release, and you can do it two ways: get a Japanese Dreamcast, or two, make a boot disc to play the Japanese games on the US Dreamcast.
Okay.
And there's like a whole series, like 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004 they went up to, or something like that.
What are you talking about? The King of Fighters series still?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Yeah. The fighting games, that's another great thing about the Dreamcast. They had plenty of them, and all of them I played were fun. So
the only downside that to me is the controller is awful.
It is.
It's not awful. It's not the worst controller ever. But that cord coming out of the bottom bothers me. Just make it come out of the top like everybody else, man.
Had to be different. You know how Sega wants to be different.
Go
ahead, Charles. Sorry. Go ahead.
They do have, if you look underneath the bottom of the controller, they got a little notch where you can feed the controller up so it goes back up to the top.
Which makes no sense. No sense at all.
But
why didn't you just have it come out the top instead of putting that notch there? Because people wanted to have it coming up the top.
Yeah, that was the VMU up there, and the two slots for VMU in the Rumble Pack.
Which is another great part of the Dreamcast. I thought that was clever. Yeah,
you could play little mini games on some of them.
Yeah.
Now with fighting games, a lot of the controls require that down to forward X input, the quarter circle movement. That will hurt your thumbs after a while. So I do have that against it. And for some reason, maybe just my bad luck, but my Dreamcast always has this tendency to reset its clock whenever I turn it on. Like maybe as little as a week and a half, I always have to reset it.
It has an internal battery.
Maybe that's what it is, but who knows? Great choice, Charles. Dreamcast doesn't get enough love.
I knew somebody was going to pick that. I actually had the Dreamcast on my list, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the one. That's the most underrated console ever."
Yeah,
that's why I had so much to talk about, because I was actually prepared for it.
No, I just think it's easier to say you're just brilliant. How's that sound?
Okay, it's because I have a deep love for the Dreamcast.
Nice, very nice. Anything else you want to add to that one, Charles?
Not really. Just buy a Dreamcast. Have fun with them. Give them some love.
Get the black one. It's a little bit bigger.
Ooh, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? I know they had. But yes, you did show that black one. Giggity. Some last time.
It's the Sega Sports Edition. It's that's the black one they had in the US. It's actually the first one I had. I found it before I found a white one, which is weird.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I've got a Japanese one.
Is yours different than, like, is the shape different than the US type color?
It's white with a blue swirl, isn't it?
This one's got the orange swirl on it.
Orange swirl. The European one that has the blue swirl.
Ooh, I like that. I like how that sounds. White on blue sounds kind of nice.
There's what it was something like it was somebody else's emblem or something like that. And in some country, so they had to make it's the same, the Dreamcast whirly nerd, but they have a different. It's blue.
Okay, gotcha. Well, sweet. Awesome choice. Well, I have one that I don't even own, and I don't know anyone who owns it either. But it's a console. Actually, it's a portable that's always fascinated me since maybe like 2000, 2001. I'm talking about the Wonder Swan Color, the Wonder Swan Crystal, that whole thing. This is a handheld that Bandai, this is before it merged with Namco, that Bandai created. Now, the first Wonder Swan had a monochromatic screen, kind of like the Game Boy, which not that big of a deal. The cool thing about the Wonder Swan when it first came out was that you had all these different options to choose in terms of like what color you want. There was like lime green, there was sunset orange, there was raspberry swirl, there was red wine crystal. Like there was all these great colors. And then to add even more customization, Bandai held a national poll seeing what third color or what final color the consumers wanted. And I forget what color won, but I thought that was neat that Bandai reached out to the customers to see which color was which color they would prefer. So I thought that was kind of neat. And what's interesting about the Wonder Swan is that it was supposed to come here to the States, but the Bandai signed an agreement with Mattel, but for some reason in the year 2000 it just fell through. And when
2000,
nice. And then in the that same year in 2000, the Wonder Swan Color was announced. But unfortunately, around that same time, as soon as the Wonder Swan Color was announced, Nintendo announced the Game Boy Advance. And I think that's what really did that whole thing in. I mean, the Wonder Swan Color was gorgeous. It had tons of really great games. You had, I mean, for me, an RPG fan, you had Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 4. You had tons of anime licensed games. You had your Gundams. You had Digimon. There were some Mega Mans on there. There was some unique puzzle games on there. And then, to keep on the momentum going, they maybe like a year later, Bandai released the Wonder Swan Crystal. And once again, they did an online poll asking which colors the consumers wanted. But by that point, the Game Boy Advance was just dominating the market, and there's lack of third-party support. The games that were available for it just weren't enough to keep it afloat. And in 2003, that was it. The Wonder Swan was discontinued, and that's all she wrote about it. And I don't know, something about it has always just fascinated me. This looks like a fun, niche little system to own. I just couldn't keep up with the big dogs, though.
I keep seeing them, but
okay, so it was not. I always thought the Wonder Swan was from elsewhere in the world. I didn't know it was ever released here.
Mm-mm. It was never released here. Okay. It was supposed to be through Mattel, but something just fell through in 2000, 2001.
Maybe Mattel went, nah, not so much, guys. You're not backlit for one, so that hurt it.
Probably. I'm not sure. Was it backlit? I'm not sure if you have information in front of you. But,
no, I don't. I just thought it wasn't.
Well, I mean, the first one, the one that had like the same color scheme as the original Game Boy, that monochrome look, I can't see that being backlit. I can't see, the other two being backlit because that didn't come out until the Game Boy Advance SP, and that was in 2003.
Right. I bought a Neo Geo Pocket Color, which is cool. Yeah. It's a cool little system, and it's got a cool little clicky joystick.
Yeah,
but it's not backlit, and I forgot how annoying that is to have to get in the good light to try to play something.
Like I played the original Game Boy Advance, and then I played a Game Boy Advance SP, and I mean, pardon the pun, but it is like night and day, like literally. That it makes such a difference.
Yeah, you don't realize how big of a difference that is. Like when we were playing Game Boys and Game Boy Colors and stuff like that, and you just kind of were used to having to be in the light.
Mm-hmm.
Man, once you go, that's one thing we can't go backwards to. You won't ever have any kind of game console or any kind of screen period that's not backlit like that.
Right. So I still kind of want to get into Wonder Swan collecting. It'd be all imports only. I'm not sure if there's emulation available. I'm not sure if there's translation patches. I'm not sure if that's an option.
I bet. Surely there's. I mean, there's an emulator I know.
Okay.
But I don't know about translation. Most of that probably doesn't require a whole lot of translation.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played Final Fantasy IV so many times that I'm sure I could manage just fine. But there's just something about that, adorable little console that had, you can play it vertically, you can play it horizontally, and I think there's a lot of potential there. The more I read about it, the more interested I became, and I think I'll get into it at some point. But nothing to keep up with the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance just consumed the portable market.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it destroyed everything else. So there's really not a reason to say, hey, why did this not survive? It's pretty evident why the Wonder Swan went the way of the dodo, the Wonder Dodo.
Getting ornithological on our asses here. I like it.
You bet. Maybe.
So that's what I got for that one. You guys have any more you want to talk about?
There's plenty, man. There's the original Xbox. I don't think gets the love that it deserves. It's kind of more of a more modern console, but there's a lot of really good games that I think in a few years people will get into playing a little bit more, get into collection a little bit more, and you'll see things like Stubbs the Zombie go up, and
Voodoo Vince,
Voodoo Vince,
yeah,
just weird little quirky games like that are going to, I think, will shoot up in value because there's a lot of kind of that new ideas. Let's see what sticks to the wall type thing that was happening with the NES that happened with some of these other. I guess Genesis did it too. There was some of that experimentation. They were trying to break into the console market. So, hey, let's try a few new things that didn't show up anywhere else. So y'all just stand back and watch. Xbox is dirt cheap, but there'll be a handful of games that are going to go up in price.
There's a lot in the Xbox I wanted to try, like Otogi 2. Let's see, the Panzer Dragoon Orta. That looks great. What else? I mentioned Voodoo Vince. I haven't played Stubbs the Zombie yet, but that looks entertaining.
The Rebel Without a Pulse.
Nice. I'm not a Halo fan. I'm not really big of a first-person shooter fan, so that's out. But I can see the Xbox being one of those underrated systems.
I had an Xbox when that was a thing. My mom, God love her, she got me and my brother both a GameCube for Christmas one year, and I'm like, hey, Mom, I'm too big for a GameCube. I'm going to take this back and get an Xbox because it's the hip new thing. I was in college, and I wanted the hip new thing, so I took it back, and I love the Prince of Persia series. I played those just absolutely to death. NBA Street, I played those a lot. Of course, and one of my favorite games of all time, Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2 are both on the Xbox. Battlefront, which it was on PlayStation 2 as well, so that doesn't really count. But there's a game called PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy.
Ooh, sounds cool.
It's a kind of like like Legacy of Kain, that third person.
Yeah.
Behind the player type of stuff. That's what I compare it to because whichever Legacy, I think it was Legacy of Kain, where you could possess people. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or wait, possess or absorb them, or absorb their life. I can't.
There's one of them that you can you go into somebody else's body. It's the one where you you suck, after you kill them, you get up next to them and it sucks the red line, which apparently is blood, out of them.
Yeah. All right.
I had it for Xbox. Psychonauts, it's for everything now, or it's for Steam and everything now, but it's a really cool Xbox game. Oh, sorry, PsyOps. I've lost track in the middle of that. But you can use psychic powers like pyrokinesis, telekinesis, and it's like a government conspiracy type thing, and you're a secret agent with psychic abilities. Is the end of the game, spoiler alert if you haven't played it, it sets it up for more, and then they just dropped it. There's no more in the series, but you can obviously tell that they were hoping this would catch on and it would be huge. I think if more people would have played it, it would have been.
I'm looking at a review list. My brother, he's a big Xbox, or used to be a big Xbox fan. It looks like there's some great stuff. There's Phantom Dust, Second Sight, Sudeki. Let's see, the enhanced version of Fatal Frame 2. You have the Fable series. Let's see. A lot of the Xbox games are also on the PS2, like 13 and Soul Calibur 2 rather. There's a sequel to Jet Set Radio Future. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Empire. That's great.
Oh, yeah, that was a BioWare. Came out after Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, so yeah, Xbox is a good choice. Good choice for this topic. Lots of stuff I didn't know about.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff and some stuff that I think, I don't know, it'd be fun to check out anyhow.
Yeah. Choice. Funny thing about the Xbox, Charles, do you remember while we were at the game store, they had an Xbox to use as a doorstop?
Oh, yeah. They've been using an Xbox as a doorstop for years.
Man, I need a new Xbox. Mine died, and I haven't been able to find another one for a decent price. I tried to buy one this weekend, and dude's like, "It's $50. They're hard to find. It'll have to be 50." I'm like, no, they're not hard to find.
They're not hard to find.
There's no guarantee it's going to work. This is at the. I'm going to gripe a little bit.
Go ahead.
This is at the same store. This guy had a dirty old. It was a junk store, and apparently he got a little taste of selling video games, and now we think they're all gold, that kind of store. So he had a Dreamcast sitting over with some stuff. I'm like, hey, how much do you want for that? And he said, well, $50. I'm like, okay, seriously, what do you want for it? No, $50. Oh, you weren't joking. Okay. Does it work? Yeah, we turned it on and tested it. I was like, well, somewhere in there he told me he didn't have any games. Like, how'd you test it if you don't have any games? And like, haha, he's, oh yeah, we put a movie in it and it played. I'm like,
oh God.
Yeah, bro.
Those were audio only. You just missed me doing the face palm, because that's face palm right there.
Yeah, that the dude just like straight up lied to me, and I'm like, all right, homie, you didn't test it. That's cool.
Yeah,
but
just own up to it. I didn't test it.
Tested, or tell me you plugged it in and it came on. I'd be okay with that. I'm like, oh, okay, it comes on.
Still not paying $50 for it.
I'm still not paying more than like. I offered him 20 for the Xbox, which is a little low. I know. I was hoping he would come down to like meet me at 30, but he said I can't do any less than 45. I'm like, yeah, all right, you can keep it, homie. Your controller's held together with duct tape. Keep it. So,
well, the way I see it, if a really nice video game store in Chicago is using one as a doorstop, I'm sure you'll find one soon enough, Turf.
I will. I will find one eventually, but
So, all right. Well, it's going to be that time where we have to start saying our goodbyes. I want to thank both of you for partaking in this topic. And Turf, you were greatly missed in Chicago, so let's try to make it happen.
Maybe next year, man.
Yeah, next year.
Yes.
You were there in spirit for sure, but just wasn't the same. So, Turf, you want to tell everyone how to listen to this episode again?
Well, this is episode 58, so that means, if I can math correctly, there's 57 more episodes of Our Parents' Basement on the YouTubes. It's right over there. And also, if you want to just check out the audio-only version, there's 58 hours of fun. 58 hours of Our Parents' Basement. You cannot, I guess you could put that on a giant iPod or on your giant iPhone, your Galaxy 6S or G7, whatever they have. I don't know. I'm an Apple. I drank the apple juice and I just have iPhones. Anyways, so you can download it anywhere you can download podcast, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, all those. iHeartRadio, Tuned In, whatever, man. If you can put a podcast on it, I've stuck it there. So you can download them anywhere you want to and take it with you anywhere you want to go. Take us on a jog. We need the exercise. So if you like that and you want to converse with us, man, hit us up on Twitter at OPB Podcast. That's the Our Parents Basement Podcast on Twitter and on Instagram, and Facebook.com/OPB Podcast. We love to hear from y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe to this podcast, and if, hey, you feel like giving us one of those 5-star ratings on iTunes, we'll dig it.
Wow, that was That sounded rehearsed. Did you rehearse that in the mirror beforehand?
Well, I've done it for 58 weeks.
The brush microphone thing and everything. Well done. Turf, thanks for that. And Charles, thanks again for your Chicago hospitality. It was a great weekend. And thank you for listening and or watching to Our Parents' Basement. We'll be back next week with a new topic to talk about. And I can't wait for that. So until then, we will we'll catch you next time.
See you guys later.